Let's skip ahead a bit. Oh yeah, I need to turn that off. How do I do that? Something here. 30. Box. Okay. Good evening, Katie Lou. Katie Lou. That. And we'll get to going here in just a moment. All right. Got to bring up my reference pictures. Where did I put those? Here, Percival. A little bit. A little bit. Which. So I did make some references. Can I set it to remember zoom ratio? Maybe not. Drop down to that. Open up maybe. Let's see. Do I have another better shot there? All right. So what I had done, I can kind of show real quick, I think, is so I have a couple of shots that I made using what's it called satellite 3D to mimic this model. I'm going to use these to kind of guide me here because it's important to be able to like all of these shapes. Yes, a loaf of bread is the dog, and this is just a rectangle for the sword that is in theory right now. I am leaving. There's a helmet that'll go here. There's a helmet that'll go on there and a sword, but I'm going to leave them all for the moment. Keep them from getting in my way as I paint. I'll just put those off to the side for now. That. All right. So this is going to be tricky. I'm going to turn the palette that way. I have some clean space to use. I want to scrape off some of this mess. Actually, let me do that first. I need to clean up the palette a bit so I can have room for paint. This is just a glass scraper. Here. Makes cleaning up a glass palette pretty easy. Though the blade can get full of gunk sometimes. Put my thumb in the paint. Good job. I'll leave some of this on here because some of it is that I can still use. Should have done this before stream, but here we are. This is all new paint down here. Yellow's new because I was using it earlier today. All right. Alrighty. So what I need is I need for the base skin tone. I need, I guess, my usual. Do transparent maroon to start with, but I'm going to have to gray it out quite a bit. I think I'm going to need transparent maroon. I need some pearline black too. Um, pearline black. We need to darken a lot of these tones. So that's the pearline black. We are going to need transparent orange. Indian yellow. Yellow. Ink for the hair. I can still probably get away with alizarin crimson. Let's do carmine instead, actually. A little less saturated than alizarin crimson, I think. Then my Naples orange. Here. Let's see. I'm going to need. Oh, I meant to let the tiniest bit of primer put back on that I accidentally scraped off. She has what's supposed to be a little mirror or magnifying glass. I'm kind of baffled as to why it's there, honestly. Um, like I guess it's supposed to be that like she's reading these little stone tablets. She's being interrupted by the dog. Um, let's see. Beyond that, I need a gray. So where's my try out 2 grays here. A mid-tone. Come on. What's going on here? How are you plugged? Odd. I have this gray from Williamsburg that supposed to be transparent, but I haven't really found a good use for it yet. I have a lot of desaturated colors in this model, so maybe I'll find a use for it. Um, Okay, well, I think I'm just going to jump in here and see what I can figure out. I have a small prime brush anymore. I guess it's that brush. Why not have, where did they go? Like I'm going crazy here. That's for varnishes. Oh, I just maybe just, I'll destroy the brush though. Pack of brushes. There we go. Got some junky size 3s. All right. So we're going to do, let me turn that off because that is done. Okay, let's start getting to this. So things that I know for a fact are going to be this pearling black. Start with. Let's do that. So, oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have. I'm gonna have to be a little careful because I don't want to ruin the base that I have prepared. A little bit more careful with stuff that's already on the ground. Just need a little bit of thinner in here. Um, yeah, I think I want like most of this couch, this chase to be color. I'm just gonna keep putting this pearling black down on a lot of this model. This is gonna be kind of like a moonlit scene. Um, idea is going to be kind of moon coming from behind her and from this side of the uh, model. I'm not too worried about her stockings here because they're going to end up being black, a truer black. Hey, look, how you doing? Plan for this model is to, there's a competition going on for Kingdom Death right now for their pinups, and I'm planning on entering this model by the end of August. Should be able to finish it by then, but I do need to prep a bunch of other things. Just got off of work. Great. I got a couple of pieces that I want to do a little that I'm submitting to Nova at the end of August. And I want to make sure is also set to go. Um, and depending on how I'm feeling about this model, we may take a little detour and work on Thanatos. I think this is going to be a model I'm going to have to do a lot of like glazing and stuff over. To try to get the appropriate lighting effects. I've been wanting to do this for model for a while. Just didn't quite have an idea what I wanted to do. I really wanted to do an interesting lighting effect on it, and after finding that light modeling software, kind of convinced me to just do this. Took one of the little 1 inch blocks from Michael's, cut it in half, then carved in, see all the lines. I carved in the lines, lined them out with a ruler, and then used a penknife and carved them in. And then when I put ink down on it, it looks like a wood 4. Get the under of this painted. Realizing I should have done that first. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, it just a little time consuming. Okay. I think I somehow managed to get flecks of the metallic paint into the ink. You can kind of see those reflections, those weird little specular reflections on the wood. Whatever. Odd, but I'm not gonna fret over it. As always, if anybody's working on anything they'd like to share, feel free to throw your Instagram or Discord links out there. Okay, so that's kind of the general color I want that to be. Wombat Comet Prime, hello. How you doing? Give you a shout out if you guys aren't following. Go. Training a bunch of newbies. No painting. Okay. Understandable. What I think I want to do is this may end up being a huge mistake. First, I'm going to grab some of my transparent maroon for the legs here. We'll see. Doing all right on lunch break. Okay. Things are all right. It was just, regular day. You know, got some chores done, prepped this model, uh, kind of fretted around with trying to decide if I wanted to paint this or if I wanted to keep working on Thanatos, who I've been kind of working off camera. Um, and not nearly, I nearly did Thanatos instead. Um, and she still may pull her out later on. I think I'm done with Naraya. Let me grab her. I think always always give my model just a day or two to sit. Um, Come back to her, to the model, and go, okay, yeah, it's done for real, or maybe there's something I noticed, but I'm not I'm not super thrilled with how the ended up deciding on the colors for the headdress, but it is what it is. Um, Part of me kind of wishes I would have just gone ahead and done a non-metallic metal, but I wanted to try those color shifting paints. It does look more interesting in person. The color shift doesn't quite read on camera, um, but that's the thing. I think she still came out all right. I am being a little bit more careful than normal on this because I don't want, when I start doing all the lights, all the light effects and stuff, I don't want to have to worry about finding multiple colors that I might have blended together. I am trying to be a little bit more careful. More precise in this stage. I was also really excited. I saw that Wapelius is streaming at a reasonable time today. Of course, he started, right as I was getting my stream going. It's like, man. But I'm sure he's going to be painting still by the time I wrap up here. Yeah, I mean, and I'm pretty sure earlier yesterday he released some Patreon videos. So he is a machine. Okay. Then what about this dog? Hmm. I'm gonna use another brown dog. But let's see. For the skin tone, I know how I want to do this. Is this might end up being a travesty. I'm going to see how this blends out on the palette first because I don't want this to end up being a mess on the model. I'm going to go a little bit of the my Paraline black and my transparent maroon. Mix those up together. And grab, and that makes a gray. Makes a gray. Makes a gray. Oh my god, that's great. That's actually exactly what I was hoping. All right, let's see what you got, Wombat. We're gonna pull you up here. Throw this. There we are. More your stabby dudes. Looking good. You got your some brighter highlights this time around. Some with the oil working last night. What are you iffy about? That's okay. So you see this. This right here is like perfect. That is what you want to figure out how to do that everywhere else. Like this is closer, this here and this here is closer, I think, to the tones you want to use in most of your model for your metals. This is still good. Bring some of this like Terra Rosa color into some of this. And yeah. Yeah, if you bring in some of that Terra Rosa, the darker color, um, then highlight it out to this. I'm assuming you use Naples yellow and like maybe some titanium white. We just like small, narrow highlights. And then when you have these curves, you can do wherever your light's coming from, you can do an edge, right? And it doesn't have to be a solid edge. Break it up a little bit. It can be partial. But I think it's getting there. Okay. On the scales in lower part of the frame for the armor, the so like this here, this looks washed out because it doesn't look like you've gone over on top in this exact part, but like these colors are what, like this here and this here are the colors I think you should be working with. um like you have a little bit of it here, push that into like underneath each of these little like panels right here along those edges, and like in you can do like a little pin line wash, like have it along this edge here, this edge here, this edge here. Push more of it under here, and then bring out just like you have on this side. Do the same thing along a lot of this. Make sense? Yeah. I mean, the colors are like this is the only part that really stands out as being like off color compared to everything else. Um, and maybe this that look is too flat, but the colors are pretty much there. It's just finding the right planes to put what colors on. Yeah, so that's a thing. I don't think we've talked about it much in Discord, but an important thing to do on a model, on a miniature, is you have to break up planes. You have to separate surfaces from other surfaces in some way. That can mean a black line. That can mean a stark contrasted color or value. But you need to break up surfaces so they look like separate surfaces. On a larger piece, that value difference, that contrast difference doesn't have to be as great. But on smaller pieces, it has to be quite a bit. And let's see if I can find like a good example of that. I mean, kind of, sort of. This will stand in because it's the model I grabbed. Um, so like you see how there's really dark values between the plates. Without those dark values between those plates, it wouldn't read as separate plates. It would just read as a smudge. Same thing with the chain, right? This was done with Perline Black and I think just titanium white, or maybe radiant turquoise. Um, but like, there's still, come on, stay focused. There's those dark separations between each of those links still. And that was just by taking my time when I was painting it in, not to put so much pressure on the brush that I would wipe into the dark paint. So however you want to do that, do it. You have, like, on some of those, you have the right values, you have that contrast, but you need to make sure that that's more visible across the whole model. Um, and that's one of those tricks for um, that's just one of those tricks for metals. No matter what non-metallic style you're going for, there still has to be that value contrast. All right, so I'm going to do my normal. It looks like I can get away with doing my normal um my normal color for skin tone lately has been transparent maroon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put transparent maroon everywhere that the skin is. And then on the dark side, I'm going to mix in some of the perylene black as well. And it looks like when I go to paint that up, it will be gray. And I'm not worried about that. And it's in the way. I want to make sure that the edges are flesh tone, so I'm just going to paint over it. And okay, this is where it ends. She does have some healthy thighs. There were me painting models that are mostly assembled. Let's see here. With that thigh armor you showed me, was the black on top of the highlighted black on? I gotta look at the model now because make sure I don't. So the when you say thigh armor, you mean this? This one I did pretty heavy, like, pin lining on. There's black lining above and below, on, like, separating the bone from the plate. Um, and on here, it's on both sides as well. Small models, it's perfectly fine to do that on. Um, uh, this model, I did pretty heavy like contrast on parts of it, and honestly, I should do that more often with these smaller models. Um, but a lot of this, a lot of these armor segments, there is black lining um, above and below all the segments. You can kind of tell that I definitely kept all the pieces very separate on this piece. Then use some like goofy purple metallic on the cape. I should have done that more into this part here with the separation of surfaces. I don't know why I didn't, but I need to maybe do that more next time because some of these other models, like the color, the separation of surfaces down here is pretty good, but as like you get up here, it's a little. I should have done like some black lining, I think, or just dark tone lining around a lot of the stuff up here just to separate things out. But that's just you thin down your paint quite a bit and use a tiny brush and just do little dots and it'll travel along edges and then just have another brush, dry brush, clean brush um, on the side that you can use to mop up if you need to. It's important to be able to mop up um, any stray lines. You don't have to do it like immediately, but you know you still want to be able to do it, right? Where's my reference pictures? Yeah. I will probably before the end of the month be doing a very large non-metallic metal piece. I plan on painting. Where is he? Plan on painting this dude um, with the cheap studio paints that I picked up to test to see if they're any good. Um, but I'll be painting him with those and working with a lot of metals. This is going to be a challenge for me to do very detailed metallics. Normally, I'm pretty abstract with mine, but I won't really be able to pull it off with surfaces like this. And I'll also try some paints out, and if they are worth buying, I will make sure to let people know. They will also be the ones that I bring in the future to classes. They'll be my studio paints, my class paints. She's got like a gauntlet on the end of her stubbed arm. Missing a hand. The Winton magenta ain't bad. I don't like it. I find it way too fragile of a color. I find it too weak. I'm sure it has its uses, but nothing really for me. Let's see. So she's got. No, I think I'm gonna still paint all of this. Might be a mistake, but I'm still gonna paint all of her skin. Even the stuff that I plan on having it with the warm colors, the light. I much prefer using quinacridone magenta. If I want a weak magenta like the Winsor Newton one, I'll just add some red into ultramarine blue. May use it fine. Okay. Do they? Okay, the one that I have or had, and I gave it away, was I don't know, I don't remember what it was made out of, but it was not. Yeah, I'm not sure I can tell you what it was made out of. It was just not anything I liked. It might be. I'd be surprised if it's not quinacridone magenta and ultramarine. But it was very cool. It was a very cool magenta. It was a very violet magenta. Making sure I'm not missing any. Now I'm going to go back into some of this and just add some of this Prussian, not Prussian, Perling black into the skin that I definitely know isn't going to be getting hit by the warm light. Well, yeah, I mean the colors, the you can you can get really vibrant acrylic paint, but you have to buy good acrylic paint. The nature of model paint stuff for minis is that in order to keep costs down, in order to keep profits up, or order to have opacity, um, there's a lot of stuff that they do to those paints that make them less saturated, have less coverage, etc. Let's see here. Put that there. I'm just going to go ahead. You can generally, from my understanding, I'm not 100% up on it, but like you can generally get, I think, more pigment into oil medium than you can acrylic. And part of it too is one of the major factors is because the oil medium tends to be more transparent than what we're used to seeing. Is a lot more light penetrates the paint and actually increases the luminosity of the paint. Um, which is why it's important with oils to not paint over black primer because you're killing a lot of the vibrancy of your paint when you do that. I know it's a very, very common thing to do in the miniature world, especially if you're coming from a GW style of painting. Um, I highly recommend painting over nothing darker than what you see that I have down here. I guess I'm painting this other thing. Not sure what I'm going to end up doing with this thing, but nothing else. Got to make sure that all of the primer is covered. Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, and like I know I have minis that are still zenithal highlighted because I like a lot of my Kingdom Death figures. I got them 2 years ago. I assembled and primed them all in the scope of like a couple of weeks. So some of those, a lot of those have zenithal priming on them, but like and like this guy does because I've had him for a while. I haven't painted him yet, but most other models, you know, I do now, like they're just flat gray, waiting to get painted. Saves time, and yeah, I do have a skin tone, like a flat skin tone. I can't really grab any of those models right now, but it's a neutral like flesh tone primer from Stana Res that I've used too that I like. All right, we're gonna do Carmine here, which I am. This is taking a bit longer than normal. And the reason why I'm using this one over my usuals in Crimson is this is a bit cooler of a color. I bought white and black to mix your own gray. Um, Hopefully that works for you. My I've tried that before, and not that it didn't work, but the black is going to overpower the absolute shit out of the white. It's not going to be a 50-50 mix. You like add black into your white. Don't do it the other way around. You're going to end up having to mix up a ridiculous amount of paint otherwise. At least that was my experience with the Vallejo. So definitely, you're going to definitely want to mix like a very tiny test batch in like a well palette or something like that to see what the ratios are. Fucking fireworks. Okay, you've already tried. Good. Yeah, I just went right into the airbrush with mine. I was like, oh no. I had to pour out a bunch of it. Oh well. Okay. Well, you were smarter than I was. There's no food for you, girl. And again, I am definitely taking my time on this model for this pre-release portion. I was a bit more comfortable with OSL. I may be going a little quicker. Especially, this is going to be like very dramatically lit. The base that came with this piece was freaking terrible. I'm actually convinced that the model, like the way that it's assembled on the website for Kingdom Death, is not what was intended by the sculptor. I'm almost positive. Because if you look at this, if you look at the art and then go look at the model, I think they assembled it wrong. Honestly, don't know what they were thinking with the stupid little clear plastic. Yeah. All right. And like, to be fair, not to be fair, I guess that's the wrong way to put it. Like, this is, you know, pose aside, this is a fairly tame model. Like, there's nothing like you compare to this, you know, to this, right? Like, I mean, so like the Chase Lounge I printed, because I thought the model, what they had the model for, was boring. I'm almost positive that that clear disc is supposed to be just like in the artwork. Like in the artwork, she's supposed to be laying on the disc. I don't know what that stupid little stand is for. Like, the way that it looked, the way that I imagined it, it was like she was laying on like a glass table, which no, and it didn't even though that's kind of what it seemed like, it didn't make sense because her the whole bottom of her, um like, hold on, so I have it right here. So this this is the base that came with her, and the way that it shows in the instructions or the model picture is that you have it like this, and she's laying on top of it. Now you're like, okay, so she's laying on like a glass table or whatever, and that's like sexy, I guess. So like, you can be a skeezy person, and you can like flip it over and you can see, oh look, you can see her naked from the bottom. But like, that's not the case because they didn't sculpt anything. It's just like her her chest, her hips, her like whole, the stuff that's facing down is flat. Like, the model isn't sculpted; it's just flat. I have no idea what they were thinking when putting that piece together. When they were like, "Yeah, let's make a clear acrylic table or whatever for her to lay on." I don't get it. But yeah, I could have just done like a little rug or something like that. But I wanted to do a chase lounge. Yeah, like, so it the way the model was sculpted, the way that they have that thing assembled on their website doesn't make sense. Now, I have no idea what the weird little legs would be for, but I just don't know. making sure no resin or no primer is showing through here. Which can be kind of hard sometimes with oil because it is so shiny. Sometimes you kind of don't notice the glare like kind of covers it sometimes. A gap in the coverage. There's a couple of models that in the pinup set that after like while assembling them, I was just like, what were they thinking? There's one called the Pond Scum armor one. It's like its assemblage that model was absolutely ridiculous. And the way that you have to assemble it is a gigantic pain in the butt. It forces you to sub-assemble. Um I don't have it nearby to like show it, but it's got like a it's supposed to be like someone sitting in like the like on the bank in like a scummy pond and the legs are below the water and there's like a clear acrylic piece that's supposed to represent the water that like you have to like the model won't you can't like put the acrylic down on the base and then like slide the model into it. You have to like glue the hips to the base, then put the acrylic water effect over the hips, and then put the waist up on the model. I don't think I'll ever paint it. Like, or just get rid of the water effect and then maybe make a little mold and just fill it with resin or something. Like, there's no way to really paint it. That was probably the worst of the ones though, like by far. Oh, and that piece also had like a 6 or 7 part head. It was baffling. Well, 30 millimeter head had like 6 or 7 pieces to it. It was like front of head, back of head, 2 parts to a crown, and then like 3 parts of hair or something like that. It was a nightmare. All right. Then what I'm going to do here is kind of like preload some of this OSL. I'm going to push some of this transparent orange into some of this. So like I'm kind of terrified to do it on the face, but you know what? We're learning. So I'm gonna add there. I'm going to very much exaggerate the reach of where this light can go for the sake of making it interesting. It's going to be like down there, bottom side of this. Get trying to think if I want to stick with black for these stockings. I think I do. We're going to use chromatic black, I think, for the true black. No, yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and cover that because all of this is going to be a gray anyway, even if I want it to be white. Chromatic black, I think, is a mix of like phthalo green, alizarin crimson, and like something else. But it's all transparent. It's a nice glaze color. Definitely not opaque. That's okay. I don't want opaque right now. You want a nice opaque black. Mars black actually is probably your best choice. And I know most sets come with lamp black, which is fine. But if you're buying fresh, Berlin black, chromatic black, Mars black would be the three that I would suggest. What I'm going to do with doggy. Doggy is going to be a brown doggy, not the same browns as already. It's a very small doggy. It'll be a pain brindle on that thing. Yeah, I can hear you. Too furry of a dog to be Brindlecoat. I do. Let's see here. Oh, well, that's fine. I want to use. I guess that can just all be black too. Yeah, okay. Let me find a brown to use. Doggy. Oh, hi, doggy. Where's my Van Dyke Brown? Got some asphaltum I can use. Do asphaltum. Asphaltum. Just put the smallest bit of thinner in the brush. Clean out the black. It's definitely usually a good idea is to get a little bit of paint in your brush first, then just a touch of thinner on the paint, and then go back into it. I find that's a much safer way to load the brush with thinner paint than putting your paintbrush into the thinner first. It does need to be thinned down a little bit more to get into all those nooks and crannies. And if you have to, test just the tip of your brush on a piece of your paper towel. And if you see a whole bunch of paint run out of your brush, then you know that you had it way too thin in your brush. They also poorly modeled this dog. He had like a weird, just like chunk of something sticking out of his neck that looked like it was supposed to be part of a collar, like a leash. But the model is clearly showing the dog pulling on her underwear. So the chunk of leash that looked like it might have been supposed to be what was holding the dog somewhere was like there was no other part to the leash. But the dog also doesn't look like it's wearing a collar. Well, I don't know what they were trying to do with this. Finishing up with this asphaltum here. Flooding that a little bit. Do the same with that. I'm not sure I guess it's supposed to be steel. Um, Slowly getting to the actual painting of the model. I want to do this is some Indian yellow, which is a really good transparent yellow. Staining, good foundation for object source lighting. Um, be good for like golds too. A little too warm for copper and brass, but you can probably still use it. And it's going to be a large part of. After I'm going to kind of wipe some stuff away and then paint in more of it in a couple spots here in just a second. What color do I want that to be? Yeah, I'll figure it out later. It's going to be desaturated, whatever it is. Okay. Step one completed. Where are my sponges? I did buy some. I did run out and remember to buy some. Go. And these are just these things I got from Rite Aid or whatever. You can get them online, but they're the oh, it says you can reuse them. Let's see they're made out of. It's got a recycled 5 on it, so I'm not actually 100% sure what these are, but these are the non-grainy ones. You have some cheaper ones that are kind of flaky, and they're no bueno. I'll cut these up a bit. You do not need to use the whole sponge. I generally cut mine into 4s. Sometimes it's good to cut them into really small shapes, like narrow shapes. Sometimes you need to get into like little areas that you couldn't get in otherwise. Cutting them like that sometimes is good. All right. What I tend to do is use reverse tension tweezers these days to kind of help keep my hands from being completely covered in paint. Wiping some of this off. I'm just trying to keep using cleaner parts of the brush. Sponge, I should say, not the brush. storm's rolling back in. Okay. Now I'm going to throw those 3 sponges away. Then we're going to paint. Big old pile of these sponges. Okay. So here things when things get tricky. What I'm going to do, take a quick break, come back to this. We'll get to working on the skin. Hopefully, show real quick again kind of what I'm going for. Let me nope, not that one. Not that one. There we go. So this is kind of a good front view of what I will do here. So this is going to be brightened up. All this area down here is going to have a glow. It's going to cast up into the face with some strong shadows on the left side of the face here. A lot of this down here will be bright, falling off. Dog's going to have this bread, which represents the dog. Going to have highlights on the side, and then the colors kind of fall off completely, except for a little bit of red here on the toes, here on the top. And this is going to represent the sword. That will be up here. Where is it? Sword. I'm going to leave that off because it's going to be in the way. I'll do all of this. All right, so I'm going to be right back, and we'll get back to it. Alrighty, let's see. We are back. We are replaying our music. Move on to this. Let's see here. All right. So now comes the more fun stuff, I suppose. Why is this brush being weird? What brush do I want to use for this? I guess I need to just put this blick to the test. All right, so let's get to these skin tones. So a lot of this, I think, is going to end up being kind of gray. Perfectly fine. My above shot. Let's see what this is going to mix that a little bit into this here. This is hurting me already. This is going to say pretty desaturated in gray. I want there to be a little bit more green in that. We have this like Terminator line kind of here. All the warmer colors. There's a little bit more flesh in that. There we go. That's closer to what I need. Yep, that should be work. Be oh wait, need a little bit of that in. Really? Some spot that I didn't get with the. Always amazing pain, and you're like, oh, look, a spot that I completely missed. Okay, then, yeah, and here too, it's going to be pretty. Now, that is a fairly orange skin tone. Grab skin tone here. Grab some of this transparent orange. Mix these two together. See what happens. Use a little bit of a sponge there to wipe away some paint that would make this more difficult to pull off. Storm's rolling in. An anonymous cheer. Well, hooray. Hello. Trying to be clever with your anonymity. If anybody's any questions what I'm doing, please let me know. Right now, I'm kind of just throwing in the cast shadow or cast light on model here. It'll be kind of refined as I go. Ink. Yeah, so I'm going to grab, got some of this some Indian yellow. I'm going to mix this into this radiant yellow that I have. What's going to happen is going to be get this lantern painted up so it looks a little bit more sensible for the model. Hooray! I need to make some more Todd hoorays. Oh, I shouldn't have glued the freaking thing down. I should have puttied it down. Oh well. Essentially. Why was that one so loud? What's a huge mistake? Paint liquor. Huge mistake. Oh, well, no, I should have not glued the lantern down, but it doesn't really make that. I was at least sensible and didn't completely assemble the entire thing. There are the helmet and the sword I left because I knew I was going to have to like go crazy with angles. The sofa I wanted to be in place. All right, back. Ooh. So fair warning, a storm's rolling in and power is randomly goes out here for brief moments. So I may end up losing just enough power to have extreme cut. So far, so good though. All right, where is my? Okay, let me get the some reason I feel like I need this couch uh properly colored, painted, so I can kind of start getting, I don't know what it is, but I want to paint the couch next. So we're going to do that. Which means I need a small. I need some size fours. Hold on. I just did this. What's the thing? So much to ask for just like a pack of size like 4 rounds and flats. You'll hold it against me forever. Okay, well, I guess that's just those. This is how I'm gonna. I'll live. All right. I want this couch to be like a kind of like a much more faded version of this. Let's try. I wonder what would happen if I actually use this. Okay, that kind of startled me there. Mm, Not kind of startled, but that startled me. Yeah. No, I may not have much. I may wouldn't be surprised if I get booted. All right, let's see if this color works. I'm going to mix that into that perline black. See what we get. Let's do a little bit of perline black. Oh man, the color is very fragile. Let me just use it straight. Pretty much the color I was imagining. Maybe I'm actually getting better at color theory. Holy shit. Is it possible? Could the stories be true? Pretty much everything. Could like the rumors of through practice and repetition and experimentation that might actually be able to predict how paints will work together. I do like that cobalt turquoise color, but it like I said, it is a very fragile color. The cobalt colors are expensive and kind of hard to use on kind of how we tend to paint our minis. Um, Clean with no interfering other colors. They are absolutely gorgeous. The moment they touch something else, they start to fall. cobalt blue is a great blue, but you want to use it, forget about it. It's got no hiding power. And whenever possible, use the correct tool for the job. Make sure you got yourself a series of flats and rounds. Filberts are, in my opinion, preferable to flats, but finding cheap packs of filberts is not a thing. It doesn't really exist. Zunheit. Um, I want the further color here to be a bit more orange. Is there like a clump in that? And that might require a little bit of waiting for it to cure, so I can give that a little bit more orange. A little bit more of that radiant yellow. Just a touch of Terra Rosa. I actually think this whole couch needs to be grayed out a little bit more. And I want a little bit of this Terra Rosa. Here. A little bit more orange. Come on, brush. Work with me. Is that starting to read like something? Like maybe this is too dark. I need to lighten that up a little bit. I think I'm having trouble reading this color. I'm going to throw this image into paint. Color select. We're just going to throw that. So it's like a green. It is green. All right. Let's try here. Yeah. So maybe some cobalt green. Oh, thank you. I was going to say, hopefully, I'll catch you on Wednesday. Thanks for popping in. Not sure what muted me there, but I'm talking to no one, I guess, for a little bit. I'm using this as Terra Rosa to pull in the red on the hair here. Um, coming along, we're coming along. Beep, 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 beep. Like a candlelight glow here. Right across this whole piece. A little bit more of the yellow on the leading edge here. Down. Kind of means that I need to pull that off. Then supposed to be a lens, I think. Then we're gonna just a touch. Should be like very orange. I mean, I'm really pushing that, but I think I need that. No. Well, maybe I'll keep doing that because it might look. I'll see what that looks like when it dries. It may. Thinking maybe using Mars Black instead. Maybe the transparent nature of the Van Dyke Brown and the chromatic black will kind of make it look like it's transparent. I do think that this couch needs to be brought down just a little bit more. Yeah, it does. Kind of come back in with this. Little too high value. Knock that down. that down just a bit there. Take another quick break here. I will be right back. back. Continuing this. Then I will stream into the darkness. Okay. What I need to do now. Let's see. We're gonna do. Uh-oh. Andrew Swarmery. How you doing, Andrew Swarmery? What's up? How's it going? Oh, the dog. Things are good. I am working on this pinup from Kingdom Death, Percival, doing some highly dramatic lighting. Kind of loosely based off of what you got in the corner here, but I printed out a little buddy of mine printed out a little chase lounge for me. And yeah. Just keep things going. What are you working on this evening? Been a fairly quiet stream. Hopefully it you need to get some pinups to work on as well. I don't recall if you paint much of them, but they are selling a bunch of them as single models right now on the Kingdom Death website. Work on a Gundam Zaku 2. Okay. Well, if you have any pictures on Instagram or Discord of your own, feel free to throw those links. They should be whitelisted. And if you want, I just throw you a permit. And don't have to worry about the bot hammering you. We did finish up earlier today. I think she's finished. I can't really do much else, I don't think, with this piece from Robot Rocket. Yeah, there's how much are the single pinups? Let me see. How much are the single pinups right now? 27 bucks, 20 bucks. For $20, some of these are 15. Yeah, for 20 bucks, honestly, like compared to other models, they are no, it's not Turbo Dork. I'll explain in a minute. Um, the the Peanuts of Death sets are really good value. 20 bucks for the pinups. I am okay with paying that. I would be okay with paying that price. Like you can see some of these others here. Uh, I have a whole mess of them that I'm slowly making my way through. Um, but no, it is not Turbo Dork. I'm paying all in oils, so I had to make my own. So these pigments are called chroma shift pigments. They are a highly powdered aluminum, I believe. That has a fixed pigment to them. The I wish the camera doesn't quite catch the color change. You can kind of see it but the top is violet gold, and the green goes to a kind of a uh, ultramarine blue, pushing towards violet. And then this is the back here. Back is pretty, not really messed around with. That's what we got here. Yeah, I fiddle around with make my own oil paint. Part of it because they don't have a whole lot of metallic and color shifting paints in the oil medium. Also because when I get into a hobby, I dive pretty deep. So I made a couple. I have one, two, three. I got like 12 paints that I've made so far. Um, the I'm pretty sure actually this stuff here. I don't know that's blowing out the camera, but I'm pretty sure this pigment is the stuff they put in Turbodoric paint, or one of them at least. Um, it looks like this. Hold on. My test swatches. Test swatches. So to show you the difference, actually, so these are the two colors that were on that bust. You can barely see it, but in the middle here is Turbo Dork 3D. I do actually have a couple of Turbo Dork paints from when I was using acrylics, but here are the two paints that I made that were on that model, and then you can kind of see, kind of similar to this upper color. I think this is the 3D glasses Turbo Dork that I put down, and it's not nearly as opaque. Um, Now, the reason for that is in twofold. If you've actually looked at do you have any Turbo Dork paints? Because if you look at them out of the bottle, right, they look kind of just like acrylic medium with sparkles. I think Turbo Dork paints is like very high acrylic medium to pigment ratio. Okay. I think the next thing I need to do here is I need to start putting down my OSL on the floor in a second. Let me grab a little bit more of this orange. I'll have to just wait, I think. All right. Oh, that's right. I was working on trying to figure out the um, words. What I wanted to do for the white. So the white, let me throw this reference image into Paint again. Sometimes it's really useful to just take a reference image, throw it into paint so you can grab a color and then throw it down, see what it actually is. Pant, pant. Oh, oh shit. Oh shit. It is Steel Rebel. How you doing? It has been ages. Been several months, I think, since either of us have been able to catch each other's stream. I don't remember the last time, honestly. Welcome in. How you doing? Yo. You keep waking up to my stream just finishing. That sounds about right. And your stream generally finishes like so my schedule changed. Your stream generally finishes at like 5 o'clock in the morning my time. So yeah, I am not up yet. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm doing this here. Um working on some dramatic lighting uh with the model here. It's going to be refined over time, but yes, absolutely a butterbutt. Um, and then I was just showing this before you popped in. This is what I finished her up recently. Um, Messing around with those chroma shift oils that I made and mixed up myself. Have you put um, your homemade paints to use yet? Yeah, I'm happy how she turned out. I'm kind of iffy about the headpiece, but I like I like what I'm seeing. I like the model. You did make a few more. Awesome. Well, when you have time, please post your info in Discord about all of that. Then we did also finish up for the Fabulous Marines. Finished up this guy, which I need to post on eBay and sell and donate. I will donate all the proceeds of this model to the Trevor Project, the Fabulous Marines. I have not painted a Marine in 20 years, and maybe it'll be another 20 more before I paint it because, oh, oh, don't like models like that. Don't like models with weird panels and very blocky surfaces. Um, I'm hoping by the end of the year, Stila. I'm painting it similar to that light reference. I'm going to show you something that is super cool. So check this out. Um, so I found a program that lets you simulate light for photos, and I set up lighting. And this is I have a couple more reference photos, but it had you can change your model out. You can change the hair. They had a Chase Lounge model. Um, I'm using this as the lantern. It's a pretty cool program. I honestly think is absolutely it's $80 for the basic version. Um, I think it's totally worth it. I could demo it later one of these days. I've shown it off once or twice on stream already. I found it only like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but you can change your model in a whole bunch of ways. You can set up multiple different types of light. So in this right, I have this is one source of light, and then behind her there is a and watch. We'll do it this way. I think I can. So like um like from this direction or from back here, there is a like moonlight filter light coming this direction. And so with the program, you can turn the model and you can move the camera around the model however you want. So I did that and took a bunch of reference photos. And that way, for this, I can have a bunch of references. I do obviously, if I'm trying to match the skin tone of what is in that photo, I do need to lighten the skin up a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to wait because I mixed back and forth a lot. So I'm gonna bring this up a little closer to what you see on that. But you know, super super useful. Um, it's called Set Light 3D. That is the name of the program. Um, yeah, I am really excited to keep using it for stuff. Um, you can use it for 2 weeks for free without having to put in an email address, without having to put in a credit card or anything like that. It's fairly intuitive. Um, yeah, I've been kind of talking to a couple of people about it. I need that to be a little bit more opaque. You got any pictures of anything you're working on, Steele? You're welcome to share it. Uh, Always like seeing what you've been working on. I'll have to go fuss at Wapelius later though, because I haven't caught his stream in a long time too, because he's been streaming so late. And today, right as I was like starting my stream up, he hops on. It's like, come on, man! I haven't been able to catch you in forever. But I'm sure once I wrap up stream here, I'll head on that way. I guess you're probably over there too, as you should be. But I think this is one of those models that is going to actually benefit me to paint after some of this is dried. Granted, I very rarely finish a model in one sitting. A sexy illithid mini with green and pink skin. Okay. Illithids are the mind flayers, right? The D&D squid face dudes. Or I guess, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll look out for some photos. How things been otherwise? You been real busy? We're popping fireworks. Yeah, I know. I saw a big, pretty. Like I happened to just be curious and like pulled up your channel or whatever, and seen that it had been a while since you had posted anything. Hopefully that means that you are making some cash monies. Now the question is that can't actually tell the shape of her top. Is the busyness a temporary thing, or is this kind of like a? I know you were busy a while back when what's it called, when the Olympics came to town. All right, let me pull up the actual model. Is and the thing is too is I think the they only have a static shot of the model. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, give me a 360 view of the freaking model so I have an idea. I was not gonna be able to find anybody who's painted this model yet. I didn't look terribly hard, but usually like a couple of the websites like KDM Collector and stuff like that will have shots. I can't quite tell what's going on with their top. Yeah, I don't see any. Hopefully temporary. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Well, hopefully that resolves sooner than later. I hear that it Japan is kind of difficult to be in a expat in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I've heard various stories, but none of them were like, yeah, it was a piece of cake. Well, I wish you luck with that. I'm sure it's a pain. They don't make you return to your country of origin while you're renewing, do they? I know a couple of places do that, or I've heard a couple of places do that. I don't know. Um. Oh, right. Prepare a bunch of papers. Okay, that's good at least. I'm trying to remember where it was that there was somebody I knew who had. I don't know if it was because like something got weird and they had to return for like 3 months. Here's my. Okay, so then and what I can do with all those pictures I took with that program is I can then just drop them into um, what's it called? I can drop them into drop it into Paint and then just color select. Okay, I'll see. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up here in about 10, 15 minutes. So I'll see you. I'll see you in multiple stream, I'm sure. Grabbing some Perlium Black again so I can. She's got a little bracket around her amputated arm here. I'm gonna normally for things like steel and silver I would use indigo, but with the lighting, I think this works better. I think I want actually, I think I want that to be like Billy Savalas. Hello, how are you? Trying to stay awake at the moment or away? It's easy to stay away. You just log off. Food coma. Yep. That'll do it. Um, I too suffer from the occasional food coma. You working on anything today? or plans to work on anything today, I guess. Picked up some black, so you can do some zenithal. Okay. The airbrush priming going. I don't do zenithal. Find that it hurts more than helps. Need a little bit of that gray in there, I think. Oh, that's too much. Even just that little bitty amount. Jeez. I started the Hellforce Colossus from. I don't know that model. If you have a link, let me know. I'll give you a permit. Curious. I don't think I know that model. Well, I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm excited because I posted a whip of my Thanatos and Michael Venturas commented on it, and that was exciting. Senpai noticed me. Yeah, so that was fairly exciting. I don't know if I've seen anybody actually finish that piece. I know we only sold like 30 of them. And then like you got to think, okay, well, of those 30, who actually started working on it? And then out of those who started working on it, who posts things to Instagram? There's a chance I missed it, but I'm painting on camera. Probably not painting on camera, am I? I winged the camera with my head not too long ago, so maybe been off camera there. Yeah, that was kind of nice. And Journeyman Miniatures was excited about my Garmer bust. So exciting. Mammoth Factory Games up Mammoth Studios. Okay, let's take a look. That is a cool piece. What else do they got? Oh, it's a 3D print thing. Gotcha. Kenny Boucher. Okay. He is a talented painter. His stream is too exciting, I guess, for me. Creepy multi-hand centipede thingy. I'm still on the quest of finding a good bust for teaching a class. None of this looks like that's the right kind of thing. Some interesting pieces. I don't know if anything quite grabs me personally. Ooh, kind of like that. I would need to see the full model. I like that one. Very, very verdant. Interesting stuff. Yeah, that's kind of a feel about it. Like he's absolutely talented. The stream is too rowdy, I guess you can say. Um, I didn't recommend anything else because I know how transparent most of them were with all the weapons. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when I'm looking at a lot of these, um, the ones that are like close are a little like their footprint. Like if you just took a cone of space around the model, if they had weapons and stuff, there's like the cone of the cylinder of space it would take up would be pretty big, and I want something pretty low profile. I'll keep this open and take a look. I do like the dragon around the pillar, or the critter with all the legs. So I guess you can call it a dragon. The rest of this stuff is kind of eh. Not that it's bad, it's just nothing. Kind of like the mushroom thing. So the mushroom thing, the verdant horse thing, and the creepy multi centipede dragon. Not enough for me to want to buy it, but interesting. Yeah. Now I'll keep that open and look at it more later. Um, and we're trying to get this going here. Yeah, it's all right. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I feel like I'm missing something like critical with this piece. Part of me kind of wishes I just put her on the ground, like in the reference photo. Um, but eh. Um, I think though this may be it for tonight. The next step is going to be to paint the OSL circle around this lantern. It's going to have to like come out pretty far. Um, yeah, yeah, and that's like I don't think it's wrong. Like I'm referencing photos that I built with satellite 3D. Um, like it looks more natural than the um reference photo. The reference photo is fine, whatever, but like that light is very white, and that doesn't really make sense for a lantern. Um, in that photo, she's being lit by a white LED light, like a UV bulb, a multi-spectrum bulb. Um, this the idea is like she's got moonlight coming in from this side here, so I need to make this a little bit cooler, maybe a little touch too warm. Cool down the skin tone just a little bit, and then I think it'll be good. Um, and then for the light, uh, there's going to be a helmet and a sword that I've kept out of the way. Um, but I'm going to put I need to put the sword down before I do the light effects because then there's going to be a cast shadow. I need to make sure to think about that. But she's coming along. And I'm going to submit her too. There's a what's it called? there's a painting competition going on for the Vibrant Lantern Discord or whatever it's called. Um, and photos are due the 31st of August. I think I'll be able to manage. I think I'll be able to swing that. All right. Well, we're going to call it there for now. Um, we're going to go right into Apelius because I haven't had a chance to watch him in a long time. And he's normally streams super late. So we're going to go and say hello to that wonderful wizard. He's offline. What? How could he do this to me? Oh, no. Yeah, but he normally streams for like 10 hours. I am devastated. I'm devastated. I am absolutely devastated. I haven't had a chance to catch him in forever. So instead, don't tell Monster Den that he was our second choice. Okay, we're gonna go to Monster Den minis.